housewives, it is for employees, it is for the teachers, it is for professionals. Everywhere in different fields, we are finding this stress, which is inevitable in our daily life. If stress is generally manageable, then nothing will happen. But this stress nowadays is undermanaged. Because of this only, we have seen there are many psychological issues besides physiological problems also, which are leading to different types of diseases. So in this session, I'm going to deal with the definition of the stress and the different kinds of stress, and what type of symptoms we find in the stress. Generally, we say it is in the form of short-term symptoms and the long-term symptoms, and how best we can cope with the stress. And we all should understand that we are saying that stress management. We are not saying stress less life. Why? Because stress is an inevitable, and it can only be managed, and it cannot be completely removed from our life. So let us start our discussion with this stress. I'm going to present here. Are you all able to see this?
Yes, sir. Can you go with the slideshow, sir?
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
Welcome to stress management session. Let us define what is actually stress. So generally, we have some expectation in our life. Based on that expectation, we will be doing some activities. And when that expectation is fulfilled, then we'll be happy. And that is also one type of stress. Why? Because it helps us to go further and do achieve bigger targets also. And second type, where the expectation and the reality is completely different. So when there is a gap between the expectation and the reality, now the stress enters. So the general definitions what I have giving is stress is the state of worry or mental tension caused by difficult situations. So that type of stress, what we are calling is as distress, and the stress which is helping us to go further and achieve higher goals is called as eustress. And this eustress is very much useful for our daily life. Without this eustress, we can't go for further developments in our life, achieve our goals, and perform well in our activities also. So therefore, eustress is very much helpful in our daily life for our professional and personal development. And general people say that there is only stress which is causing harmful effects. No, there is a stress which is also very much useful. So we see the students entering into IIT or entering into NEET coaching centers, and they have got very zeal in entering into their dream fields like engineering in reputed colleges and medicine in reputed colleges. Those who have got that enthusiasm will cope up with the stress with long hours of study, and after achieving that, they are very much happy, and further they will improve in their lives also. And there are some people who actually are not interested in that, and they have forcefully entered into that field, and because of which hours of education, hours of teaching, and hours of practicing the test, everything which is not at all suitable for their lifestyle. In such cases, they will be completely distressed even at the regular examinations which are conducted in the weekends, which will be causing distress to them, and that leads to many complications. Therefore, the first two people which are called as enthusiastic people, they will be having very zeal to get into the desired courses. They will be happy, and that is because of eustress only. And what this distress is, distress is a general form which is used to describe the unpleasant feelings. So this is a very important, and which is very discomfort and leading to many types of harmful effects in our lives. Let us see what is happening in the distress. So generally we'll see the emotional circuit which is built in the brain, which is the short circuited in this case. So emotional, what is this emotional circuit? So this emotional circuit in the normal cases is whenever you see any incident, we see it through eye, that is through the retina, and it goes to the thalamus, where what the thalamus is doing is it is translating into the brain's language what it has seen, and immediately that translated message will go to the visual cortex, where the visual cortex will analyze the situation, what is happening, and that information is sent for amygdala, where it triggers the emotional response, how it has to be responded, and therefore we'll be showing one type of response. This is a normal circuit. Generally whenever we see any object or any incident or any case, this will be happening. Whereas in case of a person with a distress, we'll see first he will be seeing, and then immediately the information will be dragged to amygdala, and you will get immediate response. So this immediate response is because of distress. So let us see the examples. If some people are expecting some employment and they prepared for a long time, and once the result are out and they see that the result is not in his favor or her favor, and they didn't get the job, unemployment problem, immediately because of this distress, they may commit different types of self-harm, or they may go for depression also. So in the same way, we see even in the after the disclose of the intermediate result or MCET results or IIT results or whatever it may be, we see in the newspapers many students committed suicide. That is, there is no activity of the thalamus or visual cortex. We are not giving any scope for the time there, and distress directly leading to the emotional response. So because of this only, this distress is happening and much damage is being caused. So this is the important point where we have to manage the stress. So we see different types of, I told you there are kinds of stresses. There are biological stress, there are psychological stress, and there are socio-cultural stress. In biological, we see a lot of infections, we see physical trauma, there are the diseases, maybe because of malnutrition and fatigue. These are the various reasons which are contributing to the biological stress. And going to the psychological, there are the frustrations, failures in the life, losses, personal handicaps, guilt feelings, lack of meaningful relationships among the family members, within the society, and in the workplace, etc. These all are the psychological reasons. And coming to the socio-cultural ones, this is because of wars, violences, terrorism, group conflicts, unemployment. Recently, we have seen the incident in the Kashmir that shaken the complete, not only India, complete the world has been shaken. So many families are in stress. That is because of socio-cultural stress, we call it as. So that is the example over there. So this is how I would have divided the stress into three categories. And who is having more stress? So there are many psychological factors and personality factors, and one of these psychological personality factor I have taken is locus of control. So what is this locus of control? So locus of control of an individual means perception about the underlying main causes of the events in his or her life. That means there are two incidents will be taking place in our life. One is success, other is failure. Some people consider that the success and failures are because of their own hard work or their own efforts. That is, that type of people are called as internal locus of control people. The people who claims that the success or the failure is solely because of their hard work or their own reasons is called as the people with internal locus of control. And there are another type of people based on their personality factor. They are called external locus of control people, who says their success or their failure. Success is because of by the grace of God, because of the luck, or because of the help of their family, friends, etc. Such type of people are called as the people with external locus of control. So when these two categories of people are being observed, it has seen that why I'm explaining all this is some people will be experiencing more stress and some people will be experiencing less stress. Who are experiencing less and who are experiencing less stress, more stress, that has to be divided, that has to be classified based on one what I have chosen is this locus of control in my experiments as well as in my research one. So people with external locus of control will have more control over their stress and they will be having less stress compared to that of people with internal locus of control. Why? Because their success or failure is because of their own hard work or their own acts, they will be saying. So as a result of which they may go, if they are successful, the story is different. If they are unsuccessful, it may lead to the depression or anxiety and other psychological disorders. So that is the important personality factor which is being taken here. And these stresses, if it is an employee, we call them as occupational stress because it is the person is doing some job or work, we call it as, and they will be having, I have classified those stress causes into three causes. One is environmental factor, and second is organizational factor, and the individual factors. If we go for the environmental factors, economic uncertainty. So within the family, there are many financial issues. Sometimes the financial position may be fine, and sometimes the needs may not be met with the whatever the finance funds they are having, and their expectation is different. As a result of which we see there is some financial problems. So that is economic uncertainty, and also there is no scope for rise in the financial status also. That is one reason. And then technological changes when they are doing in particular job, and when the technology of particular job demands a new one, and when that is not being updated by the candidate, then automatically there will be a stress because of bad performance in their duties. And fluctuations in the demand for programs. A few institutions are fighting for survival, and that had caused survival problems for employees within the organization. Nowadays, we are seeing there is a recession in the US and other places also, because of which there is much of layoff is being heard, and therefore automatically it will leads to stress in the employees. And what the organization is causing stress in the people, task demands. Once they are being given layoff to the people, that work is being shifted onto the remaining people who are working. Automatically, the work has to be done by 3 or 4 people. Now has to be done by only one. Therefore, task demands are more, role demands are increasing, and also we find interpersonal demands also increased because of this layoff and less recruitments. And within the task demands, it is related to the individual's job. Jobs are becoming more complicated and demanding and rigorous work. Just now I told you, because of which only there is a stressful situations that we have discussed. And now coming to the role demands, they are related to the pressures placed on the person and a function of the particular role he or she plays in the organization. Role overload also, as there is a less recruitments, and the role of the same person it will be changing from time to time, and all has to be managed, because of which there is much stress noticed in the people. And interpersonal demands, interpersonal is a pressure created by the other employees. So what is that? Especially when employees having high need affiliation and teamwork and do not get support from the colleagues. So there is a team leader. The team leader has to be coordinating all the employees and then complete the project in time. In course of time, he has to manage all the needs of these team members. Sometimes even the other team managers also has to cooperate with this person as well as the manager. So when there is no interpersonal relationship among them, so they may not be cooperating, and therefore it leads to frustration or the because of non-completion of the project within the time, stipulated time. So in that case, poor internal personal relations can cause stress at the workplace, and job insecurity in a difficult time creates conflict also. A job insecurity, just now I told you, when there is a layoff, one of these colleague is been given layoff, then the other person will be starting stress. So coming to the individual factors, inadequate salary and financial instability. So lack of promotion. So same job he is continuing, because of which also there is one individual factor. And work overload also we have just now discussed. They have a high pressure of workload with regard to the teaching, as well as increasing the number of courses that the faculty is expected to design and teach. So because of the changes in the technology in the software field, or it may be in the financial field also, because even in the finance also they are using software. In the banking field, even the software companies also, there is changing in the tools. Now we have got AI, artificial intelligence. When the new technology is not being learned, then they will be replacing by the other people or directly by the new technology. So because of the fear of losing the job, there is a high stress we observe in the people. So this occupational stress, we can also see this type of areas. One is role overload, and in some cases there is no role at all, that is role insufficiency. And another one is role ambiguity, then role boundary, responsibility, and physical environment. We'll discuss one. So this is overload. By seeing the picture, you can see. So he has to answer the phone call. He has to give the reports to another place. He has to write the notes immediately. He has to complete the files immediately, send the information immediately. All are immediately at the same time. And that means a large number of activities to be done in the small time. So that is called as role overload. And because of unorganized one, that will be causing the stress in the people. And role insufficiency, in some cases, sometimes what happens is they don't know what they have to do. They are recruited, they are given a seat in the cabin, and particular work is not been allotted. He will be allotting the work which is not been trained by him. So sometimes this happens. That is also causing, that means overload of the work, as well as having no work also will be causing the stress among the employees. Then role ambiguity also causes the stress. What is this role ambiguity? That is, it is a confusion. Shall I do this work or not? Because boss has not assigned this. He has assigned some other one. But this is also important to complete my project within the team. So that type of confusion will also arise in such situations in the industry, as well as organizations, different types of organizations. That is called as a role ambiguity reason for the cause. Then everyone should have some boundaries when they are doing any particular job or doing any profession. When we are doing beyond that, when automatically it leads to some stress. So here in the case one, you see there is one circle. That is the boundary actually. Another one is he has increased that, another one. So B is another circle. So because of increasing of this boundary, he has to spend more time. He has to give more energy to that. He has to focus on that, and he has to think more about that, as well as give more time for that particular activity. Because of this raising the boundaries, they have to face more difficulties. I'll give you one example. There is one organization where they have to conduct some meetings. So when this meeting is conducted in a simple way, that will be okay. But one of the organizing committee, what they say is, no, we have to invite very VIPs, and we have to organize in a very big fashion, and we have to provide many facilities to the VIPs and everything. So when this activity is only an official one, they have increased their boundaries. So when they're increasing the boundaries, the question of the law and order, there is a question of protocol, all this will come. So at the end, they will be blamed. So unnecessarily, they are increasing their job chart. So because of which they are creating the stress among themselves. So a lack of boundary invites the lack of respect. Once the program is over, even if the silly mistake also will be counted and they will be blaming. So that is also one of the important reason for stress. Then responsibility is automatically that causes much stress among the people, not only academics, even others also. and directly we go for the stress. Why we are discussing this stress more importantly nowadays? Because recently we have seen one incident in the Kashmir, that is socio-cultural stress, that is we have given as an example. And a few months back, we have seen one doctor in Vijayawada. He is conducting, running an hospital, an orthopedic hospital, like some other hospital, I think. And he has got some financial problems. Because he is unable to cope up with this financial matters, he committed suicide and also encouraged her wife and also killed his both children also. So why this is happening? That is also because of a distress where the circuit of the emotional thing is being short circuited. So that is happening. And we are seeing the after the release of the results, many students are committing suicides also. That is because of academic stress. One is financial stress. This is academic stress. And we have seen in the newspapers recently, one lady has killed the son because she's an affair with another person. That is illegal contacts. So these all are because of the stress, which is completely distress, we call it as. They are directly taking the action without any thinking at all. So these all are causing much, attracting much importance to educate ourselves regarding the stress and come out of it to have a practical life. So what short-term symptoms we see is frequent headaches, grinding of teeth, tremors, trembling of lips and hands, neck ache, backache, lightheadedness, dizziness, dry mouth, problems in swallowing. These are all of the short-term symptoms I am saying. These are not permanent ones. And then frequent colds and infections, unexpected frequencies, frequent allergies, and few frequent urination, increased anger and frustration, frequent mood swings, trouble in learning new information, frequent crying spells or suicidal thoughts, difficult in making day-to-day decisions, then feeling loneliness or worthlessness, overreactive to petty things, obsessive compulsive behavior, excessive defensive or suspicious, reduced work efficiency, withdrawal tendency, feeling of leaving or changing of the profession, forgetfulness, disorganization, and confusion. These are the short-term symptoms we see in the employees or even in our different types of people around us. These are all symptoms when we see, we might immediately suspect that this person is having some stressful situation in his life, either at the workplace or at the home. So frequent headaches, we are saying this is also reason for stress. Why? In what way the headache is connected with the stress? When the person is in the stressful situation, the muscles become very tight, they are tensed. As a result, the blood flow to the brain through the neck will be supplied less. As a result of which the headache will be caused. So that is the important one. Secondly, because of the tense created in the muscles in the neck pain is also caused. So these all are causing because of the stress only, that everyone has to understand. And when these short-term symptoms have been observed and addressing the stress in proper way, which we are going to discuss at the end of the session, if they are not been addressed, then the person will enter into a very dangerous position. That is long-term effects. We'll see what are the symptoms we see in the long term. That is mental health problems like depression. He may go into the depression, and he may go into the anxiety and some personality disorders also. And hypertension. So hypertension is high blood pressure. Why high blood pressure is being caused? This high blood pressure is because of the tense created in the arteries, in the blood vessels, because of which instead of flowing of the blood in the normal way, the less amount of blood will be flowing in the arteries. As a result of it, the pressure is created, and therefore hypertension is caused, and it also leads to coronary heart diseases, heart attack also. And it also leads to diabetics. We all know it's one of the lifestyle diseases. Once the diabetes is being found, we call it as invitation of all diseases. So that is how this is become more important where it has to be addressed. And we have seen nowadays, even the skin disease is also caused because of the stress, especially vitiligo, which is already caused. It may spread to complete body because of the white patches we see in the faces or in the hands and the legs and every part of the body, which are initially at the very small level. When the person is in the stressful situation, doing job in the stressful situation, we see the spread of that vitiligo throughout the body that increases fast. Even the psoriasis also. That is because of the excessive distress. Just we call it as one term. It is distress. And irritable bowel syndrome. So this irritable bowel, once the food is digested, the digested food has to be absorbed, assimilated, and converted into the blood, and the waste material has to thrown out of the body in the form of fecuses. This is the normal process to be occurred. When the person is in the distress for a long time, we'll find that he is unable to go for the motion regularly, and it will be irritating, and that type of situation is called as irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, and that has to be addressed. Otherwise, the whatever the waste will be left over into the within the intestines may become the poisonous one and causes further damage in the digestive system. And obesity. So this obesity and eating disorders, we have two eating disorders. One is excessive eating or less eating. If the people eating more food, that is excessive eating, is also because of stress only. So when the people are more stressed, they will eat more. As a result, they may become obese. This stress again increases because other people will be saying he is more obese, and it will be leading to further stress also. And the muscle and joint pains, headaches, cramps, back pain, neck pain. Just now I explained how this has been happening because of the stress, the tension created in the muscles, and therefore these all disorders have come because of that. And they affect the reproductive system of both the genders. Now we see earlier in any town we have only a couple of fertilization center, fertility centers. Now we see in every street in the cities we are seeing the fertility centers. Why? This is because of the stress only, either the male or the female. In the estimated survey, the recent survey showed that for every 10 males in the adult's age, 3 to 4 are having the problem with the reproductive system in the males. 2 to 3 for the females. This excess is because of this stress only. That is why this stress has to be managed properly. Otherwise, it leads to different type of complications as I am listing here. Then it may also go for hormonal imbalance and respiratory disorders. Even the respiratory asthma is also because of this excessive stress, and because of this hormonal imbalance, we see different types of behavioral problems also in the people. So these all are the long-term symptoms we are discussed for this stress, and we have some strategies. One is very general, which every person knows, but just I'm repeating that, and we'll give more focus on the psychological methods of coping of this stress. So first one is just individual approaches is recreation. So whenever you feel more stressed, you have to go spend time in the nature and seek some pleasure, and you have to take a self-care. That also this common people will be knowing. Even in the internet we can search social support. Whenever you get any stressful situation, you talk to your friend, you have to talk to the people whom you trust, and there should be a rational or cognitive one. As facing work-related stress, we have to go and ask them, develop some positive attitude. So and spending time with quality time with the spouse. We are saying quality time, and quality time with the spouse is very important, and the children as well as the parent. Then accept criticism. If somebody is criticizing, okay, instead of arguing, let us say, okay, I'm like that. Then meditation. We have many meditation techniques we have been developing. That tips I will be telling you. And take care of your life. It is because don't compare it with others. Regular exercises and warm up. Talk about your troubles and the people you trust. Take a balanced diet. Cultivate the sense of humor and laugh, and don't run your problems. This only makes them worse. So whenever you get any problem, try to solve it. Take the help of others, but don't just run away from the problem. But again, we have to solve it, because the problem may the intensity of the problem may rise over a period of time. And the right amount of sleep is also very important. Therefore, you have to have good sleep also, and practice spirituality. This is very, very important. where the people will be relaxing and gardening, any type of hobby you have to develop, gardening or making home repairs, etc. These are all the symptoms, strategies what I have been discussing earlier are general methods for coping of the stress, which a normal person will be telling you. But now we discuss about the very important point is psychological coping strategies. So what are these? One is called as appraisal focused. A second one is called as a problem focused. And third one is emotional coping. This is one set of psychological coping methods. Another set also is there. We'll discuss. Now coming to appraisal focused. We see the picture here. One is the problem. I have shown you two pictures here. One is the problem, a question mark on the head. Second one, what we have to do? Once the problem has come, we have to think. Appraisal focus strategies occur when the person modifies the way they think. For example, employing denial or distancing oneself from the problem, people may alter the way they think about the problem by altering their goals and values, such as by seeing the humor in the situation. But here, once the problem has come, then we are start about the thinking about it. So once you think, you may have one or two or three or four, five, like that, you will get different types of ideas. At the end, you will get one solution. Instead of thinking about the problem, you think about the solution. Once you think about the solution, you will get different types of solutions which is suitable for the problem, and choose one and you will come out of it. So this is how we have to modify our thinking patterns. This type of thinking is called as appraisal focused. So positive appraisal, that is whenever the problem has come, instead of thinking negatively over it, think positively. Okay, this has come. Okay, whatever it has been has already come. Now what I am going to do is I have to come out of this problem. In this angle, we have to think. This is called as positive thinking. Instead of thinking why this problem has come only to me, all problems are coming only to me, like that they are called as a negative thinking. So this is how we have to, this is called positive appraisal, is the reframing a situation to see it in a positive way, the positive light. And once you think in the positive way, you will get different ways, and suitable way you have to choose, and therefore you will come out of the problem. So this type of technique we have to follow whenever you get any problem, either it is a physical financial problem, whether it is an academic problem, or it may be a relationship problem, whatever it may be. So that is one, for we have to be focusing more. Then coming to problem focused, there is second category. So now we have got already one problem. It is a complicated one, having many factors to discuss about that. Then we have to think how this problem has come. What are the ways, different ways, who is the reason, what is the reason for this problem, how this has occurred, what is how the course it has followed. And once you understand the type of problem we got, immediately we'll be think about the solution. So based on the cause of the problem, we can find out the solution for the problem. So this type of thinking is called as a problem focused. That is, people using problem focused strategies try to deal with the cause of their problem. They do this by finding out information on the problem and learning new skills to manage this type of problem. For example, a person is being given notice of layoff. Then you have to understand why this is happening. Is this because of financial problem of the company, or because of the skill which is not being developed by him? What is the reason? So if he thinks about that, then when you go for the next company, he will develop some skills and come out of the problem. Otherwise, he will not improve further. So this type of problem solving skill should be there. This is also a positive thinking only, which leads them to be less stressed compared to that of having negative thinking. So problem focused or approach coping happens when efforts are directed at solving or managing the problem that is causing the distress. And another third one is emotion focused coping. Some situations are there, especially women will be using this type of emotion focused coping. What is that? Either they will consult a professional, a psychiatrist or a psychologist if they need counseling, or a treatment if they need, they will go for a psychiatrist, they will take medication because it is uncontrollable, unbearable. So they must go to a professional and seek help and get rid out of that particular problem. Or secondly, they may go for a people whom they trust more, they have very good relationship with them, or go to a professional for a counseling. So when they talk to them, they will feel that the problem has gone. So there are two ways. Either they go to the professional, seek the medical help, or they may go to the counselor or the people whom they trust more or love more or care more, those with those who they have good relationship, and they will share all their feelings with them, and they also will listen and try to give some suggestions. Based on that, they will feel that their mind is relaxed. So such type of coping, especially mostly done by the women, and even some men also will be doing it with their friends also. This is called as emotion focused. So that particular situation, they feel that they are completely, their stress is being managed. So that is one. That is very, very important. And these are the psychological symptoms. And another one is behavioral changes, what we had to do when we are facing the psychological stress. Let us see the following stress management strategies model can help to achieve peace in the employees. So most of the employees are vulnerable for this stress. Students will discuss in a different platform again, that is academic stress, that is another big chapter. So now we are seeing the adults only, either in their job or in their business we'll be seeing. So they should be realistic. Their expectations, they should, that is called reality therapy. What is this reality therapy? They have to come down to the ground level and find out what is there. So deciding priorities, what are the priorities of their job? So unnecessarily increasing the job roles. No, not to increase the job roles. Managing effectively the valuable time. What is the time given to complete this project? Find out that, write down the time and note down the priorities and start working at that. And when there are some more number of work has to be done within the team manager has to delegate the works to the others and also manage them. So once the work is being delegated, because other people are having the quantum of work they are doing is less, when this work is delegated to them, they can do the work very easily. And at the end, the complete work will be finished within the time. So that delegating is very important. That is also very art. And say no to the interruptions. When you are doing any project work or when you are doing any work in your field, then any interruptions like going out, chatting, discussing some other thing which is not at all related to the field. No, please try to say that it is not possible now. We'll talk at some other time. So doing daily works regularly and every day, and whatever the project is there, instead of wasting the time, concentrate on that and do it regularly, and have the positive thinking about that. And positive outlook helps the positive and helps the himself for the value in the life in all forms. That is a regular timetable, following it sculpturously, and time management will result in a good product. Therefore, this is one of the important strategy one has to follow. Be active and industrious. And employees are active in their analytical thinking because they are doing different types of analysis, especially in the higher position people. They should identify all possible combinations, consider alternatives, and reduce the set of the best possibilities. For this, they should be actively engaged in the relevant professional tasks, and they should be aware of the fact that emotional deviation does not affect their work and activities. To avoid emotional deviation and maintain concentration, they may undertake the following, that is relaxation. If it all they are more in working for more hours, that is industrious employing, they should be active, doing all the works at a time because of the more number big project they have got. In the middle, whenever they got a small time, they have to undergo for relaxation techniques like meditation, yoga, and acquire alternative interest in the engaging and other works, and trust in oneself. So develop trust in themselves. And nowadays we are seeing different musics we are getting that in the YouTube. For relaxation techniques, for the meditation also, meditation music, we can download and we can use it whenever you are in the workplace. Self-improver or success seeker. So one has to success in their job, in their organization, in their profession. They have to learn new skills. The new skills are because the old skills are replaced by new ones, and therefore you are working on the based on the new ones. When the old skills are not function is useful there, the new skills only has to be applied. When you are not updating, then automatically you will be stressed. Therefore, a person has to improve. Even the teachers also having trainings every time. The employees, especially the software people, the doctors, and other professionals also, they're updating their knowledge. If they are not updating, they become perished in this particular profession. Therefore, every person, either in the organization or in the schools or institutions or the hospitals, has to improve themselves professionally, engage in the developing the this one, and at the same time they have to write. They have to practice journaling. So, what is the journaling? You all know that is writing the diary. So earlier how it is there, now how I've been improving. So what are the factors affecting that job? So these all they have to write. Based on that, they will be acquiring the new skills and developing their profession. Then possessor self-knowledge, just it is what I have explained just now. So these all are the different types of strategies, psychological methods to cope up with the stress. And thank you for your patience listening. And any questions?
Sridhar sir, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
See, normally when people are stressed, it is obvious that they will be having negative thinking.
Yes.
And a person who is in negative thinking, it is very difficult for them to come back to positive thinking.
Yeah.
What do you suggest there? How can they cope up so that they come back into positive mindset?
Yes, yes. So when the person is in positive attitude, the solution is ready for him.
Yeah.
When there is a negative thoughts have come, then he immediately has to seek the professional help.
Okay. Yeah.
Why? Because he by himself can't develop the positive attitude.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There is one question. Sleeping hours enta unte manchidi. So it is estimated that 1/3 of our time, that is 8 hours. But when it comes to the adult, 7 hours of night sleep. 7 hours of night sleep is essential for any human being, especially for the workers and the adults, is for a stressless life.
సార్ మీ సెల్ నెంబర్ ఒకసారి చెప్తారా?
ఓకే, 9866
ఎస్ సార్
790
ఎస్ సార్
190
19
9866 790 190.
190 లాస్ట్ వన్ ఈస్ 190.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you sir.
Right.
So are you from Hyderabad only?
Yeah, I'm from Hyderabad.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Which
another questions
locations
are 10
are-
hours పడుకుంటే ఏమైనా ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చే ఛాన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయా? సో ఎక్కువ పడుకుంటే కూడా మనకి మెమరీ లాస్ ఉంటుంది. జనరల్ గా తక్కువ ఉంటే మెమరీ లాస్ అనుకుంటాం కదా, ఎక్కువ పడుకున్నప్పుడు కూడా మనకు అలాంటి ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉంటాయి. దర్ ఇస్ ఆల్సో ఒబెసిటీ కూడా పెరిగిపోతుంది. అండ్ ఇట్ లీడ్స్ టు డిజార్గనైజేషన్. ఎందుకంటే వీ హ్యావ్ సమ్ ప్లాన్ ఆఫ్ యాక్టివిటీస్ ఎవ్రీ డే. When we are exceeding our 7 hours of sleep to 10 hours, we have to skip some job activities. Therefore, automatically stress will be increased. So how to decrease mobile addiction? Okay, this is also very good question. Decrease అని అడిగారు, ఇంకా నయం how to eradicate mobile addiction అనలేదు. ఎందుకంటే this is also stress management లాగానే మొబైల్ అడిక్షన్ అనేది కూడా కంప్లీట్ గా మనము మొబైల్ వాడుకోవడం ఆపలేం కాబట్టి డిక్రీజింగ్, హౌ టు డిక్రీజ్ ప్రయారిటీస్, వాట్ ఈస్ యువర్ ప్రయారిటీ ఇన్ యువర్ లైఫ్, ప్రయారిటీ ఇన్ యువర్ ప్రొఫెషన్. సో అంతవరకు దాన్ని ఉపయోగించుకుందాం అనుకునేది చేసుకోవాలి. సో వెన్ యూ ఆర్ యూజింగ్ ఇట్ ఓన్లీ ఫర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఫ్రమ్ ద పర్టికులర్ సైట్స్ అనుకున్నప్పుడు అంతవరకే యూజ్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఆర్ ఫ్రమ్ గ్రూప్స్, ఈ గ్రూప్ లో ఇంత ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మనకు కావాలన్నా అంతవరకే యూజ్ చేసుకోవాలి, మిగతా కూడా ఆపేసుకోవాలి. దట్ టెక్నిక్ హ్యాస్ టు బి యూటిలైజ్డ్. సో వెన్ యూ గో ఫర్ రీల్స్ అండ్ అలాంటివి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు వీ హ్యావ్ డిఫరెంట్ టెక్నిక్స్. దట్ మొబైల్ డి అడిక్షన్ దాంట్లో డీటాక్సిఫికేషన్ అనేది సెషన్ ఉంటుంది. అప్పుడు మనం దాని గురించి డీటెయిల్ గా డిస్కస్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. వేర్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ కంప్లీట్లీ అడిక్టెడ్. రీసెంట్ గా మొబైల్ చూసాం కదా, ఒకటి మొబైల్ అడిక్షన్ లో ఒక స్టూడెంట్, ఇంజనీరింగ్ స్టూడెంట్ ఒక లెక్చరర్ ని చెప్పు తీసుకుని కొట్టేసింది. చూస్తుంటారు మీరు అందరు కూడా. చాలా వాట్సాప్ లో వైరల్ అయింది ఇన్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద ఎక్స్ట్రీమ్ స్టేజ్ ఆఫ్ మొబైల్ అడిక్షన్.